With God, anything is possible. God creates miracles. In the world you will have tribulation, but have courage. I have overcome the world. John 16:33. For our wrestling is not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against the powers, against the world's rulers of the darkness of this age, and against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. Ephesians 6:12. We must always remember that we must war with the power of his might, not our own. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty in God. 2 Corinthians 10:4. And I had something here on TMT, the magnetic threat, and it was at a site, www.yuriggeller.com/book/maverick/maver9.htm. That's a pretty old site. It's even out there. But and this is just 2 paragraphs on the principles of mind control and how it operates. Mind control principles involve a fairly straightforward set of principles and procedures. To begin with, a psychological profile is established in order that the victim can be categorized by his weaknesses, which can then be exploited by mental anguish and other artificial pressure. The victim must be under heavy surveillance. The victim must be under heavy surveillance net for this purpose. It is believed that EEG, which stands for electroencephalogram, a graphic tracing the electrical activity of the brain, information is collected in order to establish a tuned weapon that will impact upon the victim correctly. Another term for this accomplishment on the perpetrator's part is known as having a lock on the target's brain, or a hooking of it. The basic principle here is that the mind generates detectable brain waves that differ depending on what the subject is thinking or doing at the time. Brainwave patterns can be detected and identified with respect to such things as emotions or sounds or visions. This can become useful when applied in reverse. That is, by broadcasting the same brain waves back at the target, it is possible to induce a replay of the same emotions or sounds or visions. Normally, this would require rigid controls and special preparation of the target in order to produce adequate results. However, by continuously bombarding the target with such material, one can slowly but surely impact the victim subliminally, and when the frequency of the target is well defined, it is possible to transmit words or other sounds directly into their mind. This can be very useful, whether to drive the victim to insanity or to motivate them to act destructively. I have been in contact with a number of people, including a former CIA agent turned agency critic, who described an identical pattern of events, symptoms, and apparent strategies related to this technology. And this is from H. Michael Sweeney. This was back in the day. His book on titled Professional Paranoid: How to Fight Back When Investigated, Stalked, Harassed, or Targeted by Any Agency, Organization, or Individual. And once again, thank you for your time.